Hey, is this field trip day? Yeah. Yes. We got some good chaperones here. I'm counting 45 kids, but the paperwork says 42, so we gotta rectify that. All right, so I do need the lane clear here so I can walk and talk. I'm gonna give this to her. We did not spend a lot of time getting ready. Just listen, don't talk yet.
Why is it zoomed in?
Getting ready for this field trip, I was jamming you through chapter 5 in both classes. One of them had to do with atoms, electrons in the atom, the other the periodic table. Now, to connect that up for you, all these particles, especially the metals will ionize with anything else, cause plus and minus charged particles in the water. And we have a lot of those just coming out of our exhaust, out of our fields when we fertilize, and they're getting into our tributaries. That's what I like to call them. Watersheds is what Graham calls them. And we need to find out how much of that is getting in there and whether that's healthy for the fish, for the, not just the fish, but the critters that live in these tributaries. Last year, we went out and we found that Drift Creek up by Wapiti Park had the best water. And we tested about 7 different places. And I know we don't get, I've been prepping you all week for water treatment plant. We're not doing that. Apparently they had several people had emergency leaves and they're down to 1 person out there. Would be too much for them. But we have a guy that can tap dance like crazy up here. And we are down to just 45 people. So isn't that nice?
Nice.
That's really nice. That makes it more of a individualized learning. So let's give a nice warm welcome for our own Graham.
Hey team, how's everybody doing this morning?
Tired.
Tired? Me too. Well, that's why we're gonna go outside. We're gonna wake up. We're gonna smell the fresh air. We're gonna get in the water. We're gonna get some data on the water, and we're gonna start our day actually off going to Drift Creek. So we'll get to the water quality treatment plant, but we're gonna do that the next trip. So this trip is a prerequisite for that, because we're gonna talk a lot about how the natural system filters our water, and we're gonna start at the source of some of our water today. We're gonna go up a little bit past Wapiti Park, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about why Drift Creek is, one of the more intact watersheds that we have here in our 7th Basin watershed. So today, we're going to have a lot of different things, from some career training. We're going to, after we go to Drift Creek, we're going to go over to the Oregon Coast Community College, and we're going to look at actually the Watershed Council's water quality lab that we have, because every other Wednesday there's a team of volunteers that go out and volunteer their time to go actually collect data like we're doing today on the water quality around our watershed. So my coworker Una is going to talk to us a little bit about some of the different water quality monitoring that she does that is not that expands on what we're doing today. She does like bacteria, so she's going to talk to you about E. coli and what poop that comes from, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about Devil's Lake today. We're going to go out with Paul Robertson. Anybody met Paul Robertson? Yeah, Marjorie, nice. So Paul is another scientist in our area, and he has been monitoring the health of Devil's Lake for long time, and now he's got a really good idea about what that lake needs, and so he's going to talk to us about that, about some new things like an air filtration system that they're putting in, an aeration system they're putting in on the lake, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about why Devil's Lake Water Improvement District exists, because believe it or not, there's a whole water improvement district set up for Devil's Lake. The Watershed Council, that's more of a watershed-wide program that I work for, but the Devil's Lake is, you know, in rough shape, and it needs its own water improvement district. So we'll talk about that, and then we're gonna go do some fun stuff over at Night Park, Crowley Creek. I'm gonna show you guys some new culverts that the Watershed Council put in this summer for fish passage. We're gonna look a little bit at macroinvertebrates and try and talk a little bit about how macroinvertebrates are actually a really good indicator of water quality as well. Not only because of the fact that, you know, fish eat them, but also they just show, you know, how livable the water is. So I think you guys are going to enjoy the day. I'm glad to see some of you from last year who've done this. You know, I encourage you to take the lead and help others with our veneer equipment, as well as you know, just staying on topic for the day. So that's a lot of stuff. So with that, I think I'll get going, and we'll meet.
All right.
Meet up at.
Are you driving in your own car?
Yeah, I got all the stuff.
Okay. All right. So let's head them up and move them out, and we're going to follow you.